Hello, hello. Let's see if this works. Okay, seems we are live. And let's see, I looked at the matchups beforehand, which I want to watch. We have in top 8 Chewbacca on Rock Aggro, and we have Raz on Grub Midrange. We have Mr. Buzzard on Phobos. We have Hivatari on the coolest deck of this top 8 stage, Light Darkness Alcadeas, with some Upheaval tech. Defindo on 60 card deck out, Claude Alpha on Hydro Hurricane, as well as Drapti on Hydro Hurricane, and Marius on the single FN Rush in top 8. And I want to watch Hivatari, but I think since he plays versus deck out, the match will take a bit longer, so we can hold off on that a bit. And I would like to watch Mr. Buzzard versus Claude Alpha, because it's two very good players on probably my favorite matchup in the whole Duel Masters TCG, Phobos versus Hydra Hurricane. As well as I would like to watch Raz versus Drapti, again Hydra Hurricane involved, against Grub Midrange. And it seems like Raz's game has started, so we can hop into that. And yeah, I think while the FN Rush matchup will go fast, I think we can hold off on that for a bit, especially since we don't have a true number 1 seed in this tournament. Sadly, Nanako-san had to drop from the tournament after going 5-0 on Fortress Burn with Karate Potato. So very sad to not see that in top 8 fighting for a title. As well as Otto dropped out of the tiebreaker rounds, but he was on FN Rush. So this game started and Drapti won the die roll. Let's see if we can get Mr. Buzzard's game as well versus Claude. No, not yet. Maybe we do watch Mario's first then, since Claude versus Buzzard seems to not have started yet. And while we're at it, I have to share the link that we are live. Okay. Yeah, we got it done. Already FN Rush breaking 2 shields. And yeah, sorry for this Pyrofighter, Magnus. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. I think I have the right image pack, but the DM6 Magnus just doesn't appear. I have no idea. I think I only have the TCG image pack, but still, like, it happens with the TCG version as well. It's not just OCG versions that look like this. Like, there's no Pyrofighter with picture and TCG image pack for me. Yeah, Chewbacca fighting back, but I think this is over pretty soon in favor of FN Rush. Meanwhile, Raz versus Drapti. Raz had the best turn 3 play in the game, Bronzam Tribe, had to charge Soul Swap for it. I don't know how much mana retrieval he plays, if he can get it back somehow with like Thrash Brawler later in the game or not. Otherwise that might be crucial. Drop T, did he play Stream on turn 3? No, just Charge Pass. That sucks. No other Darkness card for Giga Slug, maybe. That's sad. Okay. Giga Balsa discards the Thrash Crawler that I was talking about just a minute ago, so there's the answer. At least one Thrash Crawler is in the deck. Yeah, while the games are not too intense at the moment, let's quickly go over what's at stake today. We have none of the top 7 people that are currently leading in the CIDC race competing. The only one that's in top 8 at the moment is Mr. Buzzard. He can solidify his spot with a good finish today. And then we have Claude Alpha in the race with 5 points. So I think a finals appearance could be enough for him to get there. I don't know if he needs a win. I think second or third place might be enough as well. And then we have a few people that basically need to win to get in. We have Drapti, Raz, Chewbacca and Marius, all 4 on 2 to 3 points, so they would basically need a win and Mr. Buzzard to fail and Claude Alpha to fail. So those chances seem pretty slim, but still good to play. Maybe one of the guys can't play and needs to drop, and might be enough to get like a 9th place finish to sneak in there. But yeah, those 4 that are in the race today basically need to win to have a chance. Meanwhile, Buzzard just needs a solid finish, like a win or 2, and Claude Alpha needs a high finish, but not necessarily a win. Yeah, Claude needs like a 2nd, 3rd or 5th place, as long as Mr. Buzzard doesn't finish super highly. Like if Buzzard is out of top 4, I guess, and Claude gets that high placement, he is in there. If Buzzard does well, he basically needs the win or 2nd place. No 2nd place. He needs the win if Buzzard does well. So that will be interesting because they face each other round 1. So I think that matchup is like a huge indicator already in the CIDC race. Whoever takes that one will make a huge push to advance. Meanwhile, we see a big board of Hydro Hurricane, but also from Grub, and the Giga Balsa hits the T-Dat, the Terra Dragon Archie de la Serna, out of hand. Ooh, and the Corpse Charger for Thrash, that's pretty good. That sets up for like a Thrash into swap situation next turn, possibly. He forgot the Vapor Tax. He played Corpse. Yeah, Ras doing a slight misplay here. Playing Corpse Charger, forgetting the Vapor tags, basically just did nothing, looping himself a card in hand, but still in a very good position because there's just one blocker on Drapti's board, as well as he has the initiative with Arky now and can just swing with his whole board. So yeah, no offense to this right side matchup, but we will close that one. Marius leads 1-0 versus Chewbacca at the moment, but we have to watch Claude versus Buzzard because that's like the matchup for CIDC, as well as, like I said, I think the most interesting matchup you can play with Phobos versus Hydra Hurricane. But that's just a bit of personal bias. But yeah, just from what's at stake, this is the most important match in this round. If we can get it to load, that is. All right. Got there. So yeah, this looks like game 1 still. Or is it? Yeah, turn 9. Yeah. This is for sure game 1. Nobody winning on turn 9 in that matchup. Dark Reversal. Okay. Yeah, no Vapor tax to be paid because yeah, and Grass takes it because Vapor got bounced by a Surfer. Interesting that Drapti plays different Surfer artworks. Mismatching here. So Ras takes game 1 off of the back of Arky. Maybe Drapti should have played around it because there was no real need to discard it. But also, normally, yeah, you have to ignore Arky unless you like can afford to like not ignore it and play around it. Yeah, I want to watch Hiva versus Defindo as well, but I think the matchup on the right is like too big to pass up on, and I think the matchup on the left is a bit more interesting. But if Ras can like take it this fast, we will probably catch up onto game 2 or 3 of Hiva versus Defindo. And if not, we will definitely watch Hiva in the next round. Yeah, what did Petrova call here? Guardian, yeah, okay. Interesting. So Phobos is huge right now. That's a very big edge Phobos has in the Hydra Hurricane matchup, that they basically have to call Guardian, or like most of the time want to call Guardian to save the Mistreas from Rebirth. But then again, if you just have a few Phobos and Files on board, you have these big 8k beaters for free that you can just start swinging at shields, like maybe not this turn, but yeah, you could be cheeky and yeah, Blizzard of Spears, which is board wipe while your Phobos stay in the clear because of Petrova. So if this doesn't get hit by discard, which it doesn't, okay, Yeah, Blizzard now only hits Ice Vapor. Petrova is buffed by the Palas. Maybe he was planning on swapping one Pala away and then Blizzarding, but now it's difficult with two Palas on board. And also Raz facing Pala wall at the moment, can't attack. Curious to see if Raz plays some blocker mass removal like Scarlet Sky Terror or Crystal Paladin to like just build a board and then swoop away all blockers and go in. No Vapor on Vapor action on the left side. It was Petrova being played. Also Guardian being called, which is yeah, in this matchup of course a bit better. Okay, yeah, Pitts one Pala, that's one to go. So next turn Buzzard can swap the Pala for a Laura. Oh no, okay, never mind. True, I forgot the Vapor tax as well in this case, so no Blizzard play inside. Buzzard discards the Blizzard. So maybe just like a 1-for-1 removal next turn again on the Pala and then start swinging in with 8Ks. Yeah, or like that Bazagazil. Yeah, now you can chill because if Claude doesn't hit the 50-50 discard on Baza, you can chip away slowly the Vapor and then you can play spells again, and then you can even choose to ignore the Petrova and go in with 8Ks. The Giga Slug poses a problem though. That walls the Baza. So now you... Man, I don't know. Why did you discard the Blizzard? If you had the Blizzard still here, you would swoop away the Ice Vapor, the Giga Slug, and the Balsa. So no Gigasalt plays. You get rid of the Vapor. You still keep your Phobos. And if he had Burst, he would have discarded that. I don't know. I don't like the Blizzard discard, but I don't know his hand. Maybe the rest is even more valuable. Like we saw swap that he charged. Maybe swap, but it's so tough now. You don't want to use swap on Slug. Meanwhile, Raz on double Vapor now. Raz burned quite a few mana due to Vapor tax already. To answer your question, Mabel, we don't have CIDC dates yet. I will make a survey after this tourney, where we will try to find a date that suits all 8 qualified people. But if everything goes well, like I hope, and one of the weekends in June, so either like next weekend is probably too short notice for most, but is still a possibility. Probably more likely one of the 2 weekends at the end of June or the first weekend of July right before Mega Meet. Those will be the options, and worst case a week after Mega Meet, but hopefully we'll get a date before in end of June that fits everyone. And we have Fal and triple Phobos now on Buzzard's board, so that's why he was maybe hesitant to discard something, and now he has the burst that clears finally the Vapor and the Slug. But now one time you still have to pay the tax. Yeah, you discard Rebirth, which you don't need. You have Baza in hand still. And I guess the Lost Soul or swap, depending on what you want. Okay, Charmelia, yeah. Reasonable choice. Yeah. I would also have burned the Darkness mana. Nature is a bit more valuable. Especially since you want to take the swap back with Belix, maybe. Ooh, now you would have wanted to keep that Rebirth because you're off of Baza Gazil for a turn. Oh no, the Rebirth wouldn't have done anything anyway. 6k Rias. Meanwhile, we have on the left side Gigazalt being used by Drupti, clearing Raz's hand. But Raz has a pretty good setup with the Cryptic. He basically needs one sweeper of some kind for the blockers. Okay, that's a good start. Discarding Hydro Hurricane as well. Ooh, that top deck Garlic was nice. That was a huge top deck. Getting rid of one blocker. Meaning next turn he should be able to game Drupti if Drupti doesn't draw a blocker removal now. Because like one blocker blocks Cryptic next turn, the other blocker blocks a single breaker, and then you still have 6 attackers to attack for game. Oh no, Guardian is called, so yeah, you can't even attack with Cryptic before you deal with that Petrova or the blockers, because Laura just trades with Cryptic, so can't even do that. Ooh, Baza top decked swap. Okay, I must have not focused that well because there was no Baza in hand anymore. It was a Morbid. But now you see what I talked about earlier. It just has 4 Guardians on board that are all 8k. But Claude Alpha has all the Giga Balsas, all the triggers. If he played Fire, Meltdown here would be huge, but of course we know he doesn't. The best play would be Spiral Gating Petrova, and then yeah, this works as well. Yeah, just jacking in the Guardian Petrova into one of the big guys, and the second Petrova here buffs the Chimeras. And now we see, oh, the search doesn't help much. You need to search Archip basically because Gigazalt on board. Bazard thinks he threw that game. I don't know. Think he was in a good position to do that. He's still in a pretty good position. Like, if he drew a creature now, can just slam it and then next turn go for game. We know Claude's list doesn't play any defensive triggers. Yeah, Pit top deck not as good. I think I wouldn't have even used it. Okay, Claude has 3 cards in hand, so this card is likely, but you want to keep the Pit for Mystrias, but also you can't afford to just not do anything and then get it discarded for free by another Giga Balsa or Ghost Touch or Gigazalt. Yeah, I agree, not attacking anymore because there will likely be no defensive triggers, so you can just go in when you have 2 creatures. Yeah, 3 Balsas pretty huge. Okay, slash charge on Hydro, which is good. Claude also now 1 card down in deck out race, but I think he can find a way to win here. the reversal turn with the second Petrova. Like basically, Buzzard had to hope that he doesn't have another Petrova, that the Petrova was too much. Now we already have a blocker wall up again. Blizzard is in grave. It doesn't look too good for Buzzard now, indeed. Now we see Corpse Charger without Vapor on board for us. Moving Coral. Do you stack the Evo? No. Basically you have to... What does that even do? Did he search Archie? Is the other card Archie? Has to be, right? Because otherwise, why do that? And then you get both discarded anyway by Zalt. But yeah, I think he had to search Archie with Terrorhorn there. Belix searching Slash, I guess. Oh no, Morbid. Alright. Morbid for another Belix. Because he leaves 2 mana up. I think Fal has to be one of them. For sure. Baza Forbos, okay. I don't know why he flip-flopped on the mana so much because of that. Ooh, Snare on Cryptic, ouch. Oh, but the double Vapor tax. Does Raz play Emerald maybe to fish it back out of shields? But I don't know, at this point probably just need to remove the blockers and just start swinging. He takes the 50-50. Alright. Also wins it. Discards Coral. Okay, I think we saw concession on the right side. Yeah, that was Claude's game for sure. Let's see if Buzzard can recover from that. Also, it was a bit unlucky. Like, I think he beats himself up a bit too much about misplaying. Like, Claude got triple gigabytes out of shields. Like, what are those shields? The only thing you could say, maybe stop after like the second one. Like, you don't stop at the first one. But even then, I don't think it's right. Just unlucky that he had all those Balsas and the second Petrova to punish, because like to be fair, there's very likely just 2 Petrovas in the list. If there's 3, then yeah, but that's unlikely. Like the normal amount of Petrovas is 2, and we already have seen 1. So I think the only other way would be spiral gating the first Petrova yourself and then playing second, like the same Petrova again. So just a bit unfortunate in my opinion. See Jagalzo hitting the board. Yeah, the board is getting bigger and bigger for us. He just needs to find a way around like at least the Palaolaces. Okay, we see Slash Charger turn 3 for Buzzard. Getting rid of the Petrova. Says, fuck this. Got beat by it last game. Just get rid of it this game. But I think it's a reasonable card to Slash first, because it's what gets Rias out of rebirth range, and you really want to rebirth the Rias, so you get your own value going. Baraga is a nice tech choice here. I mean, Benzo is like the better effect, but just has 2k. This guy has 4k, so contests a lot of more stuff, but at the same time, the aggro stuff you want to contest. You don't want to take back a shield, so not the greatest card. I think if you have space for more Magris, you just play more Magris or Hulkus instead of the Baraga. But it's a cool looking card. DM artwork is like so goated. Like, look at this. Yeah, definitely for its time had really good artwork, in my opinion. We see turn 4 Charmelia. Let's see if Claude has the Miraculous Snare for it. Also funny that we see Garglife hitting the board and basically it doesn't do anything because everything is buffed by Parla and Petrova, so it's just a vanilla double breaker. Also one of my favorite card arts, Garglife Dragon. And the details on the blades. Such a cool looking dragon. And meanwhile, yeah, Raz found himself in a position where he says, I have enough attackers to just attack for game. And we see Claude has the snare, but yeah, to be expected. It's a 4-off in Hydro. Yeah, drop D blocking the double breakers, but still needs like double trigger here or like a Holy Awe now. Yeah, Holy Awe bust, and it's no Holy Awe. Okay. GG to Raz, taking that match 2-0. Let's see if we can still see Defindo versus Hiva. Yeah, also we saw an example why I don't like Charmelia that much. I think it's a good card in the mirror because their removal comes later, but against Hydro, yeah, Charmelia did nothing. Meanwhile, everything else in the deck is basically built around that it did its job already and got some value, so Snare on like Phobos doesn't really hurt much. I like it as a 4-drop target for Rebirth because can be better than like a Giga Balsa, but like I don't agree with the build around like 2 copies in the deck. I think I would still play a split of like 1 Charmelia, 1 Dimension Gate because of the immediate value that Dimension Gate gives, plus you can search it with Phobos and get the next one in rotation. I don't understand the attack here from Hivatari. I don't know which game it is, what the game state is, but he just attacked with Farliga. Also, how is he on a 3 mana with Farliga? Oh, Upheaval. Alright. Both players on Upheaval. This is funny. Upheaval mirror match. Upheaval deck out and Upheaval Arcadias. The photo side. Maybe that can get Bazat out of the situation. Yeah, okay. Fmabel, if you can hear me in the chat, you asked for Hiva. We're still in game 1. Like I said, this will take a bit longer, the deck out matchup. I hope Defindo faces FN Rush next round. Yeah, Buzzard still needs like a removal for the blocker so he can clear the Rias. Pit here, Phobos. Okay, but you still give Claude a lot of draws to get out of the situation here. because Laura will just eat the photosite attack. And yeah, Marius won his match 2-0. We saw the 1-0, and yeah, game 2 already looked kind of the same. Ruck is typically known for not being very good into rush. You just have like Surfer or Bust. You just inherently play a mirror match where you are the slower deck with Ruck. So yeah, I think the only way to combat that is play 1-drops yourself and basically play a minimal water package, and the rest of the packages like FN Rush, and not like keeping the threats going, just like all out aggro. Okay, we see a concession by Hiwatari and going second, which is a good choice in my opinion, because yeah, one could argue you lose a card in your deck due to the draw that helps deck out, but I think it's better to deny one card from deck out, because the less resources deck out has, the better your situation is, and you don't really need to be fast. Pretty much have all the time in the world. Okay, looking at the bracket, it's good the winner of Hiva versus Difindo will face Marios on FN Rush, so that will make round 2 a bit faster, which is definitely a nice sight. Meanwhile, Claude is looking like he's in prime position here, which is very good for him, because that keeps Buzzard down. Like maximum points Buzzard could gain after that is 5, which would get him to 12, and Claude can finish like 2nd or 3rd place, and that would be enough to get him to 12 points, and then he has the tiebreakers due to better placement, I think. I don't know if Buzzard had a top 4 finish this cycle. No, doesn't look like it. Just like 5th place was his best. Yeah, so yeah, if Claude wins this match, 2nd or 3rd place is enough for him. He just can't get 4th place. That would be the only outcome he has to avoid after winning this. Yeah, very interesting deck here. Slime Whale has draw power, because Light Darkness doesn't have draw power outside of Magris and Rias. Upheaval for some maybe anti-aggro shenanigans, late lockout, Arcadea's versus Control, Valkyrie versus Rush. I hope to see Ularus, because I think Ularus is just better than Valkyrie. It's like a mini cryptic totem sorts. And yeah, we see a concession by Buzzard. So It does look good for Claude at the moment, but still, if he falls in 4th place and Buzzard wins out here and gets 5th place, which is like, since we changed the system, 5th place is basically 4th place. It's more valuable than 4th place, because you basically won the small final. You won the final out of the losers side of the bracket, and 4th place is losing on the winner's side. So the slightly lower placement technically is worth more points. You just gain points out of wins. So some people call it Swiss 2.0, but let's not start that discussion. So the only match still going is the deck out match, which is to be expected. In this case, I'm sadly rooting against Hivatari, because that would mean the match is over sooner. Hiva down on cards really bad. I think you will have no chance at resolving Upheaval versus deck out. Play Slimeway, but that's just a draw 1. Next, like, yeah. You can't even like clear file next turn for that. Not that great. For next round, I think we will skip over Drapti versus Buzzard, because we have seen that matchup already. I think we will definitely watch the Hiva match anyway, no matter win or loss, because we also haven't featured Marius and Chewbacca for that long, just for like a match and a half. And then I think we will watch for sure Ras versus Claude Alpha in the one semi-final, because we have seen that matchup, but I think it's also the most interesting out of the semi-finals, because the other matchup will be FN Rush. Also, if you want to follow along with the bracket, I will post it in the YouTube chat as well. If somehow you're not on the IDC Discord yet, which I highly recommend you doing if you're watching here and you're still not there, please hop over and start to follow along there, and hopefully join these tournaments in the future, because like after this the cycle will end, then like the next month will be basically off month for most of people, and then in August the new cycle will start fresh, all points reset, What's the deck count of Hiva? Okay, seems like a 40 card deck. That's already a good sign. That's more feasible to deck out than 60 card deck, for example. Lost Soul. Hitting 2 removal cards. But there's nothing. No attacker to remove for Diffindo. A lot of draw passing going on. Yeah, basically the only things you need to remove as Diffindo is the Angel Command baits. I kind of want Hiva to maybe play Nature in the future, make it an LDN deck, because it's just so important to have like Soul Swap into bait and then Alcadeas for 8 mana, which is very doable with like Bronze Arm Sky Sword. I know that's like the boring ass DMTCG engine that's in every deck, but there's a reason it's in a lot of decks and staple as it is. Interesting, Diffindo held the Belix? Why? Do you just don't like grab Slash and slam Slash? Maybe get the last Lost Soul out of Hivatari's deck and then you're like free. That's interesting. Also interesting to know after, I don't know if we should go after that info, but if he top decked Lost Soul or not, because if he top decked, then Diffindo could have definitely prevented that by just playing Slash. I don't know why you hold the Belix here. I don't think Lost Soul is getting much value in this match when Hivatari doesn't have real draw power. And Apoc with Pala on board also very likely isn't a mass removal but just like a Terror Pit. So yeah, I don't understand the logic behind holding Belix here. Now we have the bait on board. Diffindo, now it's go time. Now you have to remove that card. Just a draw pass, so if Hivatari has Arcadeas, I think he basically wins the game, because there's no out and deck out for Clamp. Okay, that's good. But I don't know if Clamp is worth it, because you know it was no removal there, because otherwise it would have been played on Valkyrie. I mean, yeah, you save yourself from Upheaval loop shenanigans. Yeah, Hivatari has to find Arcadeas. If he can stick Arcadeas, I think it's game over, because all Diffindo can do at that point is jump block. Miraculous Snare doesn't answer Arcadeas. I don't know if Diffindo plays Aqua Surfer as defense. Some deckouts do, some don't. I don't really remember. If he has Surfer, there's at least an out. If not, then yeah, Arcadeas on board, he can basically concede. Yeah, there's the removal for the bait. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Stick one bait, get the Arcadeas. We see 1 mana. I don't know if Hiva is on 2 or 3. I think 4 would be a bit too much, probably. I think Arcadeas is typically like a 2 or 3 of evolution. This is bad now. Bazagazil is repeatable Terror Pit, so you can't stick any Angel Command really. Maybe if he plays like Ghost Touch Giriel. I don't know if he's on that. Yeah, there's Valkyrie, but Ghost Touch? Yeah, okay. Thought like, why stick that? You know it's going to die, but there was the Ghost Touch for Baza. Still needs to find an Alcadeas, and without draw power, man, you're just top decking. Also, the file top deck for Snare, so Also, Slime Veil doesn't even get you those back. The opponent can choose. Interested if Hiva plays something like Benzo or Baraga or 3-faced Ashura Fang to get shields back, or like Ghastly Drain. But yeah, at this point it looks better for Defindo. Still 19 cards to go. Belix for Lost Soul. Okay. Making both players top deck. Yeah, I think if Defindo can resolve an Upheaval here, he's in a better position because he can recycle his Slash charges. Oh, the Burst Shot. Top deck for Rias. Very important. Now we see Hiva has a draw engine at least, which is good. But yeah, Rias also very, very vulnerable in the Ruby deck out match because like almost everything is removal, so it's hard to stick for a turn. Slash charger taking long, I don't know. Maybe just take a screenshot of your opponent's deck if it's that important to check what he still has left. Takes Belix, okay. Yeah, Belix Corpse would have been quite useful for Hivatari. Even like getting back Slime Veil as a draw too. Yeah, typical deck out gameplay. Draw pass, which is in favor of deck out. Yeah, it's sad that Spalding isn't here. I hope you all meet Spalding next tournament. I hope I don't meet Spalding at Mega Meet. I don't want to lose. Okay, Lost Soul again. Both players in top deck mode. Again, just favoring deck out. That's what you want to do. Sit on blockers, play removal as soon as something hits the board. Another discard, yeah. It's looking very grim for Hiva. At least like just blockers and defensive cards got discarded. But yeah, the Rias immediately eating a Terrapit. No Arcadeas in grave. So there might be more. Still a long way to see bait survive and then still getting Arcadeas. Also, Defindo peeked at the deck and maybe saw that the second Arcadeas is in shield, so not even a threat. Upheaval missed. He held, missed, interesting. Tried a different approach, tried to get one draw out of Mysterious. Yeah, and now there's the concession, yeah. Yeah, we see Alcadeas and shields, like I mentioned. But yeah, this does nothing against Alcadeas, so if it had sticked, there would have been a chance, but yeah. We see deck-out win, and luckily for all of us, Iwatari seeing the writing on the wall and conceding early. So let's get that result in. Findo wins 2-0. And yeah, announce the second round. And let's see which games open up the fastest. But I will want to watch Raz and Claude and Chewbacca versus Hiva. Maybe Marius versus Defendor as well, because it should go faster. At least if Marius wins fast and also scoops fast when he knows the game is over. But also I want to give like Chewbacca and Hiva the spotlight of playing one full match on stream, because we didn't see the full matches for them yet. Maybe we can also hope that just the deck out game drags on for a bit longer and we will just catch up. Or third option would be to watch Marius Defendo first and then hop over to Raz and Claude, who might take a little longer. But at the moment, both Claude and Defendo's games started, so maybe let's watch those first and see how long Iwatari and Chewbacca still take to open their room. Okay, so Claude won the die roll, going first. Played Ghost Touch, which is risky if you hit Arcade. Like, of course, the chances are so low to actually hit it turn 2, so you basically ignore it. Oh, why did we now have this room twice? I want to see the other game. But yeah, it's very unlikely to hit the Arcade, but if you do on turn 2 and it just starts swinging next turn, oh, that's so rough. Especially since you don't play any defensive triggers in your list. Again, Gigabalza, same thing, but I think it's correct to just ignore Arc's existence because it's a one-off in 40 cards, so the actual probability of hitting it is not that high. Okay, meanwhile, we have Defindo versus Mario's open. Already some shields gone, so maybe this will go fast enough so we can see Chewbacca versus Hivatari right after. Ooh, triple 1-drop in turn 3. Oh my gosh. Burst shot would go so hard now. But it's also burst shot or bust in this shield. Yeah, because on 5 mana, unless Defindo plays like Searing Wave, you can't really do much. Play Miraculous Snare on Gonta and pray you have burst shot in shields. Meanwhile, Raz getting discarded even more by Claude through Gigazyte. Pointer. Interesting. I think I would rather play more Galax instead of pointers. I don't think pointer does anything. If it had the DMP effect where you draw one, then it would be great, and also Astral would be playable, but the water effect on these multisifs is just so bad. Okay, Void Charger plus Belix at least stops 2 attacks. Now 1 trigger could be enough to survive, unless Marius has a speed attacker. He doesn't, okay. You could hold off of blocking here. See which, if he attacks with a 1-drop first or Gonta first. Yeah. Now you need to Terror Pit exactly. And that's game 1, okay. Maybe if the second game is as fast as this. And now finally we see Arcade getting discarded. The punish to Gigazyte. If Raz has a blocker removal top deck now, like a Surfer or a Galek or Pit or something. Yeah, he didn't, damn. Hitting the Pala and then running over Zalt would be so huge. Oh, also nice to see Chewbacca and Hivatari had problems with their room, so they didn't start yet. So not much to catch up on, which is very nice. We will see majority of that match as well after the right one concluded. And now it looks so good for Claude. The Rhea sticking. If he had top decked the blocker removal, would have been so good. Clearing everything but the Petrova. But now I think Claude is running away with it. Unless Raz plays a sweeper like Scarlet. Which I'm still unsure if he does, because we see Garglife. Maybe he thinks Garglife is enough of a sweeper, which with Petrova it isn't. Against Von Pala it is, but yeah. Doesn't look good for him. I hope he plays some kind of sweeper, otherwise I think the game is already over. The mystery is sticking for 2-3 turns already. Marius had no turn 2 play? Or probably Volcanic on Belix, I guess. Yeah, Volcanic on Belix. Thought like, how was there no turn 2 play in Rush? Okay. Mushroom 1-drop. Played Mushroom, played a mana. Doesn't summon anything. Yeah, Hydro just seals the deal here. And Claude even attacking already. Just doesn't fear anything. 2-turn clock. No removal at 2 mana, maybe Spirogate, but that's about it. Yeah, here the Sniper comes down as well. Again, Rush with this dichotomy. You either have to face like double Gonta and have burst shot and shields, or you face like triple 1-drop and have pits and shields. So tough to defend against FN Rush, basically impossible. Like if he doesn't have burst shot, I think the game is over again. Surfer on Rias, okay, he stopped the advantage for a brief moment, but yeah, I don't think Crystal Paladin is like 3 turns away, 2 turns away, and you're getting beat before that by Petrova and Gigaside, so I think Ras loses this first game for sure. Oh, he got a skydive out of shields, that is nice. Gets it back for later to jump block, as well as clearing one body. And meanwhile, yeah, Claude just vomits on the board. There we have a speed attacker, so yeah, if this isn't the trigger, it's still game. Yeah, you can basically let that go through to check if it's a trigger, because you would rather kill, yeah. Now the pyro just goes back to hand. Now if you have a clamp, you can just get it back. Yeah, because if you block, you give the opponent the choice what to play around, and he could have played around Magma Rex there. So I agree, not blocking here. That was a good choice. Let's see if Defendo has the clamp for the pyro. Even if not, he's in a good position thanks to the Magma Rex now. Because he had 2 blockers. Marius needs to put like 2 creatures on board and have them survive somehow, and then finish with pyro, but Defendo with 4 cards in hand surely has removal. Meanwhile, yeah, we see that Claude won game 1, which was to be expected looking at the board state. Ras going first, playing Corpse Chargers Fairy Life. Not the greatest use, but it's something. Gone top plus 2 drop, yeah, but again, it's so unlikely that Defendo doesn't have any removal here. Yeah, even APOC clearing both. And yeah, at that point I would like Marius to scoop, because there's no way he's winning this. No point in playing further. Just wasting time. Vapor could be interesting, but yeah, Mistrias just ignores Vapor. Can draw enough until you can afford the tax. Swap on Rias, I guess. Or do you swap in the Garg Life maybe? That gives Claude a draw, but you get a double breaker on board, and a double breaker that checks Gigasalt if Gigasalt wants to tap. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good choice. Might have swapped the Galak though, so you can swap it back later if you need it again instead of the Hulkers. But yeah, just small choice difference, not really that huge, hopefully. Otherwise, yeah, you can bounce like with Surfer your own Galak, but not really a play you want to do. Okay, I know what we do here. Logic Cube into Crystal Memory. Even though it doesn't say what you searched Bazaar Ghazil, but because that's a lock on FN Rush. FN Rush can't get out of the Bazaar lock. Please scoop Marius. There's no way to win this. It's over. FN Rush has no out. No way out of this. Yeah, thank you. So it's 1-1 on the right side. hopefully a similarly fast game. Yeah, now we see the Garg Life in effect. And Claude just today has all the Balsas. Now we see Gigaside probably coming down on Balsa, clearing the Galek, or like a double blocker situation with like double Pala Slug, something like that. Snare maybe, Snare on the Garg Life, yeah, and a blocker. Okay, let's see, does Raz top deck another blocker removal here? 5, Searing Wave would be good here. Coral, also kind of good, both. Oh, and we see the triple 1-drop opener again from FN Rush. Going first, no cards in hand for Marios after this, just a polygon that returns, but doesn't matter if you win the game. And yeah, Searing Wave, now you can poke down to 2 shields, because there's no threat of instant Giga Zabal unless you hit another Giga Balza out of shields. But I suspect Claude gets at least 2 blockers out here. So again, Raz has to top deck some kind of removal. 4 mana? That doesn't look like a blocker to me. What do you play with 4 mana? Thrash? Maybe? He has to put 2 blockers on board to survive. Okay, no Belix turn 2. Corpse. Oh, okay. Corpse and 1-drop blocker and 3-drop blocker. But he mistapped then, right? Belix? Because he needs like another light mana for 1-drop blocker, or... Oh, okay, Slug plus... Oh, okay, he just has everything. Ooh, a Pebble could be interesting. Because now Defindo has so much mana. Now you can just burst shot or epoch that board away. Yeah, that upheaval, that was crazy. That was good. Now mass removal basically seals the deal here, I think. Oh, 2 mana doesn't look like mass removal. That's Balix into Blizzard, yeah, okay. Maybe he has burst shot. Yeah, if you have burst shot, just fire that one first. Can save the Belix. Yeah, very, very interesting situation. I think if Raz had the removal, he would have slammed it immediately. Now you can at least trade those 2 into Slug and Laura. Hopefully the card he drew is at least a creature that he can play. Like if it's swap, it's game. Like if it's some kind of removal, it's game already. What could it be? Thrash Crawler? Thrash take Corpse? I don't know. Thrash take Hulkus, probably. Yeah, Belix Blizzard coming down here. Yeah, looking very good for Defindo here. Marius has a lot of cards in hand, but yeah, restricted by mana. Oh, and the Baza lock already. Ooh. I think, though, now Marius has to play like Pyro Fighter Beatdown and hope it works, because you can't just stick creatures. Yeah, basically you have to hit with Pyro Fighter 3 times, or like this, and then next turn Pyro Fighter, yeah. Oh, the Mega Punish. Oh, the Skydiver is so good here. Because that fends off future speed attackers and your buzzer locked. Yeah, this is game over. Because you can't even remove the Skydiver with Volcanic or Comet Missile. It always gets back to hand. Ooh, that game is over for Marios. Let's see if he realizes. Ra's taking quite a long time to think about this turn. Like, the card must be really bad, my opinion. Probably just think if you charge it or not, or play it, because like, why would you think so hard if it's a card that wins you the game, or at least advances your game state to a point where you can just trade these two guys and yeah, exactly. It's just a matter of, do you charge it to keep it safe from discard or not charge it? This way you unlock like top deck speed attacker, top deck twin cannon. Yeah, I think it's just smash them in, because yeah, if you get Petrovat, you're crying. You have to trade both. He thinks about it. I don't think there's much to think about it. Okay. Baiting Claude into evolving the slug and then winning the game? I don't know. Swap on Garlic, maybe keeping that option alive. Okay, Volcanic Arrows onto that, at least getting him down to 0 shields. But again, now you need to top deck another Volcanic or Comet to do the same again next turn. Let's see if Defindo has like Clamp plus Skydiver this time around. Yeah, he does, he does. We're still under buzzer lock, so you need to draw some cards, like draw pass. The Terron, okay, okay. What did Belix grab? Corpse, and then split Corpse on Rias, okay. What do you even grab here with Terron? Arky, so you can never be discarded again, basically. I don't know. Another logic into memory to search a creature. Belix, okay. Another memory. Yeah, starts looking very grim for Marius. I guess this game is over. I'm just skipping to Hivatari versus Chewbacca. Oh, I don't see their room. That's not good. I see a room that's not started yet. Okay, let's maybe ask for that. Okay, so they still have technical issues, so that's why they haven't started yet. Let's see if how Drapti versus Buzzard goes in the meantime. Octagon being slow. Okay, finally. So this looks like Bazat's game with Fortress, Jamilia, double Forbos on board. There's still Rias and Petrova here. Meanwhile, Claude got the army here, but oh, please have Magma Rex in deck. That's game. If he has Magma Rex in deck. Rebirth on Rias, Magma Rex, clear Slug and Marrow Ooze. And the Giga Balsa, which is inconsequential, but you clear 2 blockers with this. You have 2 attackers. Oh, the top deck Rebirth. Please, Magma Rex can't be in shields. Oh no, that's not Magma Rex. No. That's bad. Vapor does nothing. Corail even. Corail the Slug. Clear Balix and Marrow Ooze. Oh. So sad. Raz was so close, yet so far. Now it's over. Oh, the Pala protects all the 1k guys. Vapor does nothing into Rias. It looked so good for us. Please, afterwards, you have to tell me he's on Magma. Like, if he's not on 1 Magma Rex as a 2-box piece, what is he doing? And Jagalzor, which does nothing. Yeah, 4 attackers versus 5 blockers. Ew. We are in, you need Silver Bullet, Scarlet territory again, which I'm unsure he even plays. Because at that point I would just charge the Jagalzor to go to 8 mana. Him not charging is an indicator he doesn't even play Scarlet. Meanwhile, I haven't paid attention which game it was. Did they answer? 1. Okay. So, Bazat won game 1 in this match. And I think Claude will run through Raz here pretty soon. Like, 1 Hydro bounces the whole board, bounces almost all mana, and then can just swing. Yeah, all those Jagalzor twin cannons do nothing against slugs. Searing Wave is still a possibility because that clears slug, both slugs and the Marrow Ooze. That means Claude would be left with just Belix and Pala. So yeah, I think that's the win con now. Or did he call Chimera? No, Guardian. Alright, yeah. Interesting. I think he should have called Chimera to keep the slugs alive versus Searing Wave. Now it's kind of a race to see if Claude resolves Hydro first or Raz gets to Searing Wave. But we see all 3 Hydro Hurricanes in mana, so Claude has to basically has to draw Belix or Thresh. Also, it's still Raz's turn. He thinks about attacking. You just lose everything to Slug. Doesn't make sense to attack. You have 5 attackers versus 5 blockers. Yeah, you can force to trade, but he will just do the slugs on the 2 big guys, and then Marrow Ooze can trade, and Belix and Pala will even take 2 of your guys, so you would just board clear yourself, and Claude will end up having Belix and Pala left over, so you would just -3 yourself. Just not worth it to attack here. Meanwhile, Trabaka doesn't get Octagon going, so he's probably out of the tournament. And yet Defindo won that match, which was to be expected in that situation. Now, yeah. Which one do you want to see win more, FN Rush or Deck Out? Both hated and loved, depending who you ask. Defindo trying to claim his second win. Raz would be a new winner if he advances, but he's with his back against the wall. And he attacked. I disagree. You just minus yourself for no reason. I mean, yeah, you can force to trade the Slug into Jaggerza, but why? You just make your Searing Wave worse. Because after Searing Wave, Belix and Pala will stay, so you need at least 3 attackers, but Claude will play 1 or 2 more blockers next turn, so you need more attackers. Like the first attack was wrong already. Now you're making it even worse. No. It's funny, it looks like a Hydra Hurricane Mirror on the right if not for the meltdown. Just like light dark, and then on the bottom, like typical cards shared among the decks: Phaal, Gigabalsa, Slash Charger. Yeah, another Pala seals the deal here. Now even Searing Wave doesn't do anything. So I think Claude will just stall for Deck Out, I guess. Just 12 cards left. Oh no, he can't. He's on 5 cards. He has to go in. This is more interesting than I thought. Ooh. Like a Surfer on Pala and then Searing Wave, and you're winning. Raz pretty much still in this game. There's another Petrova. And he draws. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Does he want to go 1 by 1 with Zabal? I guess so. Gigasalt, I mean. I think I said Zabal quite a lot today. All these gigas. Very similar names. Yeah. Oh, he knew those two due to snare. Decides not to poke any further. Oh, but yeah, even if you draw a searing off of this, you can't play it. Because everything is just too strong due to Pala. Thrash Crawler. Does Apoc even hit anything? Yeah, one blocker, like one Marrow Ooze or one Slug, so it's a pit. I mean, it's something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers on Claude's board versus 5 attackers. Claude has to go in, so if you hit a Surfer or swap out of shields and then you have the Apoc for next turn, you win. So yeah, I guess take Apoc. Could also take the Magnus. That way, yeah, Magnus plus like removal is also game. Yeah, makes sense. Pretty much does the same thing because like Apoc is just a pit and Magnus also just forces one blocker to block. Claude also, yeah, just has to go in. He has like 3 more turns to win the game, and I think he doesn't have enough attackers to go for game in one swoop now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, he does. 7 attackers versus 5 shields and a blocker, so against no triggers he could go for game, but I guess he wants to do 2-turn clock and discard stuff with Zalt. I think best thing here is like another snare and then pick apart like 3 shields, leave 3, next turn go for game. There's nothing, no top deck from Rust that's killing you. Yeah, probably 2-turn clock. Wait, he charged twice. Yeah, he can't do that anymore with the amount of mana. Oh, he can. Yeah, he already tapped 5 mana. 1, 3, 5. Yeah, he can do that. Yeah. Yeah, interesting to see there seems to be no removal for the Thrash Crawler. Okay, alright. That's good. That's 6 attackers versus 6 blockers. So now removal. Oh no, he played 2 more. That's 8 blockers, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay. 7 attackers versus 8 blockers. So now again, you pass. You hope for a surfer or 2 out of shields and then swoop in one go. Meanwhile, we see Mr. Buzzard playing Ghastly Drain. I think you can take 3 safely, yeah. Yeah, Claude still has 2 turns left. Converts one of the blockers into an attacker. And now he just wants to finish the game this turn. Doesn't even want to try to make it over 2 turns. Just all-out attack here now. But I mean, he has, with the converted blocker, he has enough attackers. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 attackers versus basically 4 shields and a blocker. So everything has to be a trigger. Burst doesn't have much. It would clear like Balsa and Vapor at this point. But yeah, at this point, Burst is just a pit, which is not enough. Or is the other Petrova on Chimera even? Then yeah. Unless Raz has the Holy Attack, it's over. Yeah, there's the Surfer, but just a little too late. But there was no Magma Rex and Shield, so Raz just doesn't play it. I have to ask. Okay, he's not on Magma Rex. Alright. Claude advancing to the finals versus Defindo. So Hydra Recurrent versus Deck Out, which I think Deck Out has the slightly better matchup, but I think this win was the most important to Claude because second place is already enough to secure his spot, whatever Buzzard does. So Claude can definitely chill out, even if he loses the finals. There is no problem for him. But I think deck out is slightly favored because of all the removal. But might be if you hit too many of the fire removals that don't do anything versus Hydro Hurricane. And like Upheaval is also not super great against the water deck. Then Claude needs to snowball a bit and could run away with it. Okay, so Buzzard won. Which means he will advance to the quote-unquote losers finals for 4th place. Let's quickly announce the last round, and we will watch the bronze match and the first place match together. And if any of the lower bracket games are still going, then we will watch them as well. Okay, I realized the mistakes thanks to Ali. Claude is on 5 points. I thought he was on 7 as well. So basically Claude needs to win or needs Buzzard to lose to get into CIDC. These are the two. Yeah, Thmabel also pointed it out. So yeah, maybe we should watch Buzzard's game instead of the 3rd place game. But also 3rd place is Rush, so it should be over pretty quickly. Also, Buzzard's match is versus Hiva, so we haven't seen a full Hiva match anyway, so we want to watch that anyway. Yeah, I think we still watch finals in 3rd place and then hop over to Buzzard versus Hiva after. To add on to Thmabel's comment, Claude doesn't need to win. Buzzard losing is enough because Claude will have the tiebreaker placement, second place. Buzzard's best placement this cycle was third or fourth, so Claude already got the tiebreaker. So Buzzard losing is enough for Claude, and if he wins, he guarantees himself, so he still has it in his own hands. But yeah, of course, would be better to just win to be safe, but also Buzzard losing would be enough. Which is an interesting matchup, because Alcadeas, just as in the deck out matchup, if it sticks, I think it's game over for Phobos. You can't interact with it at all, so yeah, but Phobos also known for playing a lot of removal, so definitely hard sticking a bait on board without it dying. Also, this looks like a mirror match as well. Could be like a Hydra Hurricane mirror with the Belix Crystal Memory and stuff. So yeah, we're in the finals of IDC 60. Claude Alpha versus Defindo, two previous champions. Defindo looking for his second win, and Claude Alpha looking for his sixth win, which would be huge. I think there was like just one or two on Water Darkness. I think just one, to be honest, and the rest on Hydra Hurricane. So this is his deck, and yeah, Snare, you know, Defindo won't attack shields ever, so. And I think Claude doesn't play any shield retrieval, so these cards are gone forever. Good start by Claude. I like sticking Petrova first, because that can't be interacted with until Baza Gazil, and then Mystrias after, making all the burst shots and volcanoes bad. And now you even stick the Vapor. Now every removal costs Defindo mana and cards in hand. I think there's not a better start you could imagine for Claude Alpha, I think. Yeah, all the dead burst shots. Ooh, Magma Rex is a clean answer to Vapor though. That's pretty good, but still Claude draws a card for it. Let's try to open the other match as well. Ras versus Marios in the third place match. Also, I don't know if Chewbacca gets his Octagon fixed. Probably. Just another game loss, sadly. No 7th, 8th tiebreaker match will be played, most likely. Pala stabilizing the Mystrias even further, getting yourself a draw. Logic Cube. You didn't leave Darkness mana, so you can't clamp. What do you grab for 4 mana? Memory for Baza? I don't know. Snare. Yeah, Snare. Snare away the Brias. Yeah, that makes most sense. Could have thought about mass removal, but with Pala buffing Petrova now doesn't make much sense. Yeah, Claude can charge the snares. You don't really need to remove that much. All that Defindo will play is like some blockers and files. Yes, the Magma Rex Chimera, yeah. Nice, second Petrova up for your secondary race. Guardian and Chimera being buffed now. Yeah, we got the other game up, so on the right side now we have FN Rush versus Grub midrange, and ooh, this looks bad. This looks like a late surfer in game 1 that at least like saved Russ for the moment, but I think Thrashcrawler is the only blocker he plays, and you need that now against the top deck speed or speed in hand. Yeah, no way Marius doesn't have a speed attacker on turn 3 here. Yeah, so takes game 1 now. Yeah, you need the surfer a bit earlier. I think that looked like a late game surfer to me. We see the first slash charger being played by Defindo on the left side. Not really a huge issue, because Claude has some grave retrieval. But like the second, third, fourth starts becoming an issue for sure. Bronzan, solid start. Sadly no 2-drop for us. To contest that Gonta. Now we see 2-drop into the Hearty Captain that got bounced. Right, yeah. Sniper, oh, alright. Gonta taking his first shield. Bedix follows Soul. Oh, now Claude needs to have a clamp or hit it with Balsa. K gets Ice Vapor, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's good. Now you force your opponent to discard and burn himself on the way. Maybe I would have grabbed Rias. If he then chooses to lose Soul, okay, so be it. Next turn you can draw. I think then you shift the target to Rias, where he has to hit the Rias, or else you will run away with the game. Galek, sadly, a worse Giga Balsa in this matchup, but at least it puts a body on board and discards one. But now, looks very grim. I don't know. Ras has Searing Wave, so But even then, basically need a trigger for Gonta here for Searing Wave to actually matter. Yeah, I think you have to bounce Gonta still. Yeah. Okay, there's another Rias. Did he lose Soul? What did Defindo do? Man, 2 games at once, too much. No, he just Bazagaziled away the Pala, and that's not good, yeah. That does nothing. Now he has Rias on board. I disagree. I think Defindo should have lost Soul there. Now the Vapor Tax kicks in. Discarding the lost Soul, he grabbed back. So funny. Yeah. Searing Wave for bust for Ras. Yeah, it doesn't even want to charge Garg Life, but does it really matter? Yeah, I think if he doesn't have Searing Wave, With swap he can't even, yeah. Even with swap he can't do anything. Yeah, that's game. So congrats Marios for 3rd place. And let's quickly hop into Bazat's game so we can see the decider who gets the final CIDC slot, because at the moment I think, yeah, Chewbacca didn't gain substantial points, Ras didn't gain substantial points, Drapti didn't gain substantial points, Marius didn't gain enough substantial points, so it's just between Bazat and Claude who gets the final CIDC slot. Let's ask which game this one is. It's the first game. So nothing much happened. We see a photo site that probably cleared a lot of the board already from Hivatari. Photo site really keeps the Alcadeas baits in check. Okay, so apparently Chewbacca got his octagon working again, so they can play out 7th, 8th place. Nothing really happening in the finals. Defindo out of resources, out of cards in hand. Claude Alpha still has the draw power going. If he finds another way to miss Drias and can stick that, it looks very good for him. Yeah, or just like a few attackers and one timely Hydro Hurricane. This slash could be huge. Let's see, we have 1 Rias already engraved. Oh, just the one that got corpse charted back. Oh, 2. No, we got 2 Rias. So it all depends how many. I think we snared one. So if he can get rid of the 4th one, the only way to Rias is Belix into corpse. So with that, with this slash, I think the Rias engine is gone. So this could be the tipping point in the match. Or rather this game 1. But he goes after the Hydro, which is an indicator that the 4th Rias was naturally in the first 5 shields, which would suck for Claude. Yeah, all the dead burst shots, that's what Claude wants to see for sure. Oh, he drew the 4th Rias, it was already in hand. That is good for Claude. That is very good. Do we see the immediate answer? It does nothing. Everything is boosted. Oh no, the Petrovas die, right? Just the Petrovas. Why did Laura Gigas die? Wait. Why did Lauras die? Good that we have a watcher here. Not just your boring commentator, but also TO. So I want to judge and see if I catch these mistakes. Because that would have been a huge issue for Claude if he loses the Lauras, because those are two cards that basically say burn 1 mana if you resolve Hydra Hurricane. That would have been huge if he lost those as well, but those are just as he realized that Mystrias doesn't die. But on Laura with the same power, those aren't important. As important as Rias, you just forget. Also Defindo in almost top deck mode, you have 1, 2, 2.5 attackers with Marrows. Yeah, I think you still need some more light cards on board to start swinging. But also just 7 cards left in deck, so yeah, I think over the next 2 or 3 turns you have to make a decision to start swinging. If you draw with Rias, even sooner, and then just hope to dodge Burst Shot, but should be doable because we see 3 being charged already. So what's the likelihood of the 4th being there, you know? Meanwhile, does Buzzard play a beatdown because he has a tapped Sky Sword, or did he just clear something small? I don't know. Funny if he just goes in here. And they are still in game 1 as well. How's the deck out situation looking there? Yeah, okay, they're both over 20 cards, so probably the game will be decided naturally. Ooh, Thrash for memory. Oh no, he doesn't have water mana, did he? Oh, he did. Yeah, okay, he tapped the memory for Thrash and the Skydiver for this. Okay, yeah, this works. I didn't catch if he did it correctly, but technically it was possible, so should be the right call. Interesting to see if he's on Future Slash, because if he is, it would be huge now. Next turn, yeah, you shorten the clock by so much. But also I could imagine it was just Upheaval, and with Upheaval you deny Claude from playing stuff, and then just hope your blockers and shields survive you 4 turns, and that's it. And with Upheaval you get Slash back, so the clock is like 1 turn faster. Yeah. Or maybe it's just mass removal, because now nothing, like the buff is just 2k, so Blizzard should clear the whole board. But if Claude finds another Pala, then might not be enough. But it's a rough spot for Claude. I think if you have discard, you fired it like immediately. You need to get rid of whatever he searched, because the card must be good. Yeah, also good to convert a blocker into attacker. Oh, convert 2 blockers into an attacker. I would, yeah, definitely discard. Yeah, that's the Blizzard. Okay, yeah, hope you have removal in hand, Claude, because yeah, I think you need to go in next turn, because the threat of like slash, or even worse, future slash ending you is very problematic. Also, we see Fortress Shell hitting the board now for Buzzard, so I think he will clean up that game pretty soon. He has all the attackers, all the initiative, even charging Buzzard. What the hell? Okay, can search swap and swap it out, I guess. But can start swinging here. Grabs Lost Soul. Okay, Buzzard playing it really safe here. Grabbed Slash and didn't leave Darkness. Sad. Could have fired that in there. Yeah, just a dead Volcano Charger, which does nothing with Pala on board. Let's see if Claude has like this. Now he charged all the snares. Now snare would be okay to use to get rid of the 5k because it walls the salts at the moment. Another one. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Hydro bounced the whole board. Bounced both blockers. Bouncing the slash is, I don't know, give him back the useless fire cards. Ah, yeah, okay, you discard them. Never mind. You discard them and next turn you go in. Yeah. Would have probably taken one sheet with Rias. Oh, the second Pala is so good. Now you Blizzard proof as well. Just need to dodge burst shot from shields. Do you even discard here? You have basically enough attackers to win. Pit on the side. Now I would discard. Okay, interesting. Claude going very aggressive, and yeah, we see concession on the right side, so Buzzard very likely won that. Yeah, I think I would discard both with Zalt here because you're Blizzard proof. Next turn you have 4 attackers for 2 shields, so unless it's double trigger, you win. And even APOC, yeah, Blizzard APOC proof, pit proof, I would, yeah. Thank you, Claude. Right decision. Now the only thing that loses you is like top deck future slash. Yeah, okay, close, almost. Yeah, just swing. Should be game, unless 2 triggers, but how likely is it? Yeah, now it's game over. Very well played by Claude. Burst shot coming too late. If the attacking order was like different, it could have mattered, but yeah. That way around, burst shot last shield. Oh man, the 4th burst shot was in shield, so very close. If Claude had attacked the other way round from the other side, he would have lost that game. So a bit luck involved as well. So yeah, but uphill battle won by Claude. Very nice display, but also this is why I hate playing deck out, like myself. Like I don't really hate playing against it. I don't hate playing against like any deck, but I don't view it as like a good deck choice because, like you see, you can always lose until the opponent has the last card. Like last card top deck can still lose you the game. You're just doing nothing actively. You're just waiting. Hope to not die. Like you're just playing not to lose and not playing to win. And I don't like decks that just do that. No real own win con. But still, I think the matchup is slightly in Defindo's favor, so I think he can still turn it around. And Claude has like all the pressure, taking one of those 2 wins because he needs the win for the CIDC spot. because it very much looks like Buzzard is winning the best of 3 because Hivatari plays Mono Light at this point, and Buzzard's already up 1-0. Okay, we see Giga Balsa discarding Volcano Charger, discarding the answer, but still both very healthy in hand, so there should be more removal for the Balsa. Hivatari playing Clamp, but Buzzard on 6 cards in hand still, because he did basically nothing. Oh no, he played Ghastly Drain. That's why so many shields are missing already. I was like, what did Hivatari poke with? But he just didn't. Yeah, Clamp it to Ghastly for 3 feels bad. Buzzard still with a huge advantage out of that. Yeah, Forward Searching Lost Soul. Hivatari has like a turn now to play something meaningful like a Mysterious or Angel Command Bait. Like Angel Command Bait, hope for top deck Alcadeus next turn. Like charge a card for sure to get one down out of hand. And then yeah, Mysterious or Bait would be the best thing to do. Random discard hoping to hit the 25%, I don't know. Is another way, but I don't think it's good. Ooh, Defindo plays Lost Soul. But they're both in top deck mode with the Zald. If Defindo can't find an answer now. Oh, why don't you put... Oh, you put that Juliana. Oh no. Now he can just poke your shields. Discard you one by one. Interesting. Okay, very conservative play here by Claude. I think I would have just poked with Zald because that eats a pit anyway, and if it's burst, you activate it on Balsa, and if it's nothing, you activate, you tap Balsa, get the card off hand, 1 shield less. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he waits for another Zald, so his discard engine is safe. I think in a previous conversation with Claude, he said he likes to have 2 Zalds before he does the poking play. Yeah, and here you see I would have poked differently. Because if it's pit, it eats the Zald, and then you can poke another shield. And if it's burst, it gets used anyway. I don't know. Also, I don't know why Defindo charges all his blockers. Such a misplay. Like, yeah, Juliana is a bad card. I don't know why he's still on that. I think even in deck out, it's not that great. Like, deck out's the only deck where I think it has a place. But otherwise, I don't think it's good. But the Skydiver, that's the prime target you put on board. It walls the Giga Balsa, it walls the Zald. Why do you charge everything? Just put it on board. Now, yeah, Chimera is called, and yeah, now the loop begins. And Claude has a lot of time to do this now. If Defindo doesn't find an answer in the next few turns, it's over. Yeah, Clamp is not an answer. Now he can do the poke play like once more, and then next turn go for game. He's Blizzard proof as well. Yeah, I think attacking with Petrova isn't bad, to be honest. Because, yeah, he could even poke for one more shield now, if he feels like it, but doesn't have to, yeah. Blizzard doesn't clear the board, Apoc doesn't clear the board. I think it's GG. I think Claude wins this IDC. And wins his CIDC spot with that. That's a very clutch performance. Last tournament, you have to win basically to make it. And he does it. Yeah, now just attack. Yeah, pits need to be played on Balza now, and yeah, GG. Congrats to Claude Alpha for winning. I mean, we can watch the other match, but it doesn't matter from a points perspective. Just like nice to see. Maybe we can open the Chewbacca match. So we have something else to watch along. Yeah. Not super surprised by Claude winning, but winning 2-0. Wouldn't have thought that. I think like at least one game would have been lost in that, I think, due to the matchup. But if it was one game, it was the first one. The second one, Claude just had all the advantage. And even he started the poke play like a turn later, which I don't know, like was a mistake, but didn't matter in the end. But if he does it, why don't commit like a turn earlier? Yeah, because the only thing stopping that play is like pit from shields. Burst doesn't stop it. Skydiver, Balza, those stuff, Magmarix, nothing helps there. So yeah, we're just watching the 5th and 7th place tiebreaker matches. In the meantime, I can ask Claude if he wants to do a winner's interview. Okay, I see in the Goat Memes channel that there's still some pressure here, because if Buzzard wins, Solomon is out of CIDC, so Buzzard can still secure himself a spot, just not over Claude. So Claude is safe, but Buzzard can still kick out Solomon, if that is right. Let's check. Yeah, Solomon 11 points, same as Otto and me, but Otto has first place finish, I have a 3rd place finish, and Solomon 4th, but How many points did Solomon get? The 1 point like Otto and me did this IDC? Because Otto and I will gain another point because we had a 3-2 record. That puts us above. No, Solomon is 20th place. He's basically staying at 11. And then Bazat was on 7, right? Yeah. Claude was on 5, Bazat was on 7. So Bazat needs 4 points to tie, but then he probably doesn't have a tiebreaker. Yeah, and 6th place also only gets him 3 points. So yeah, it's basically win or lose for Bazat. If he wins, he has a spot as well, and Solomon is out. If he loses, he is out. Yeah. But it looks very good for Bazat. He had the Lost Soul he grabbed earlier. He has 2 fortresses on board. The 3rd 4-boss comes down searching a million cards. He puts Ball Medias on board, gives his opponent draws with Rias, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, Iwatari concedes, so Bazat taking 5th aka 4th place in IDC 60, which is enough to earn him the final spot in CIDC over Solomon. So yeah, Solomon's prophecy coming to fruition again about himself not making CIDC. I think for the first time that it actually is true, his prophecy. So I think, yeah, for the first time for real, we can say bye-bye CIDC for Solomon. And yeah, this match started late. Game 2 it is. At least it's Rock, so I think we can watch that. If it was like deck out, I would say, nah. You guys play, you started late, you can play, but we will move on with the interview. But since it's game 2 and a pretty fast matchup, we will watch this match before heading over to a winner's interview with Claude Alpha. So if Chewbacca leads 1-0, then the match is over pretty soon. If it's it probably is Chewbacca leading, right? Turn 22. Don't think Hydro Hurricane can finish this fast. Okay. Now you can trade the sniper, maybe get back speed attacker if you have another fire mana, or Hulkus if you have another water mana, or just a quixotic to be safe. Okay, Chewbacca didn't go in. Just the stream, not enough. Needs some more blockers though. Bronze arm. Okay. Gets back the Surfer maybe. So he has a blocker removal next turn. Okay, Quixotic, no. I think that's not the right thing to grab back. I don't think that's it. Yeah, I think you trade here. The Hulk is into Slug. Because you don't want that to be Gigazalt at some point. Okay, Hulkus, not a good sign. Yeah, Magrus, yeah, that's GG. Okay, so Chewbacca wins his final match after having Octagon issues the round before. So I assume it's 2-0. Because, yeah, just the turn count. It has to be... Oh no, they're setting up. Interesting. That's surprising. The turn count made me assume it's for sure 2-0 for Chewbacca, but apparently not. Game 3 will decide. Game 3 will decide. Let's see. Double Darkness Charge by Drupti. No Water or Light Mana yet. Not a good side. Let's see if Chewbacca can get a 2-drop here. No Gonta. Maybe Quixotic. Quixotic, yeah. Decent. triple darkness charge. No way Drapti can't charge water or light here. What is he doing? If he has mono dark hand, then rip, but no way you charge the second Gigaside here. There has to be something. Like, I would even charge snare and pass and not play anything. Would be better than this. But oh well. Let's see. Hulkus maybe? Or Bronze Arm. Hulkus. Yeah, now the question, do you wait or do you propose a trade between these two? Okay, we finally see a water charge by Drapti. Chewbacca decided not to attack. Maybe he waits on something like Searing Wave to clear the slug, which can be risky, but you saw 2 Gigasides being charged, so maybe he's out of Gigasides. Unicorn Fish would also be pretty nice here. Let's see. Chewbacca thinking hard. Fire mana being charged. And do we have an answer for the Giga Slug? 4 mana. Looks promising. And Lucky Ball. Ugh. Lucky Ball without effect. Not good. Not what you want to see. Now he proposes the trade. I think... Okay, luckily the trade got accepted. I was thinking, like, if you intend to do that, do it the turn before, not now. But again, it worked, probably because all Gigasides are charged and no Gigaside in hand. Otherwise, I think you just wait, evolve Gigaside, run over Quixotic and go from there. Yeah, and still, I can't believe Gigaside charge, the second one, is right. He had 3 other cards in hand. There had to be something worse than that, I think. No way there was No card he could have charged instead. Can't be right to charge your second Gigasite there. Unless you have a third, then you don't block here, then you let that attack go through and evolve over it. Yeah, single Palaolysis. I don't know if Chewbacca's on something like Windex or Coral. Some removal on the blocker could be useful. Not another blank Lucky Ball, please. Tap 4 mana again. Okay, Pincer. Oh, okay. That is way better. That is better. Yeah. Now you make your future Lucky Balls live with that hit. Now you pass. Pincer's likely eating a snare. But if not, then you have a huge double breaker. And even if it's snare, at least Drop-D can only put one other block on board likely. Okay, no removal for Pincer. Interesting. Just Gigabalsa at least discarding the Lucky Ball, which is good for Drop-D, but just now 2 blockers that don't do much about Pincer Scarab. What can he have? Searing Wave would be great, clearing Pala and Balsa. Single target removal on one of the blockers doesn't help much. The other one jump blocks Pincer. It really all depends if Drop-D can find an answer for Pincer soon. Jagalza would also be pretty nice here. Okay, Magnus. Yeah, this will be jump blocked most likely by Laura. He even targets Laura with Pincer. Now probably the 3k guys will attack. Magnus will probably attack. And then it's just like find an answer for pincer. Best play for drop D would be snare into clamp. Snare the pincer, clamp the 2 cards in hand. Because I can't see a move where you empty your whole hand to get the pincer down. If he charges like max 3 blockers, then pincer still at 5k. What a Marrow Ooze artwork. Okay, Hydro is not the best answer, but it is an answer. Probably has to bounce the Lucky Ball and pincer low, or the Hulkus and pincer, because Marrow Ooze contests the Lucky Ball. Yeah. Also, he forgot to burn mana, but I won't interfere there because it's a May effect, so it's not mandatory. It's just something the player missed. So yeah, make sure to not miss your optional effects. Let's see if it ends up mattering. Oh, it's automated, Claude. Nice to know that Hydro is automated, so he even got reminded that he can bounce mana. I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, yeah, you give him 2-drop or blocker bounce, but you can give back Pyro because all we know is 1 fire mana, and then he's still 2 turns away from double speed attacker because he needs to charge 2 fire mana, so I think Pyro Fighter is a free bounce. Last shield, Dark Reversal. Also interesting, he takes the shield. I think that's an instant block with Marrow Ooze, the trade. Now what does even save you? Petrova on Chimeras, run over Lucky Ball, play 1 more blocker. Hope that's enough, I guess. Okay, yeah, Gigasalt in the blocker, basically same as Petrova in the blocker. So yeah, 1 blocker removal won't be enough, but it would be a decent start. We know he has 1 Pyrofighter in hand. Best case scenario, last card is fire mana and he drew another Pyro. Then it's game, but yeah, Pyro, Spirogate, Pyro Unicorn fish, something like that. Also just like hard play surfer, bounce giga balsa, swing swing. Has to sacrifice both blockers, and you're done. I think that's just a matter of time. I think it's attack with Gonta first, see what he blocks with, and then decide if you want to ram in Pyro or Pincer. Two mana. Okay, volcanic arrows. That's not the card I would have targeted, but oh well. I would have just killed the Slug, because Slug is guaranteed to trade with one of your guys. The Pala boost was inconsequential because Marrow Ooze at 3k does nothing, still dies to Gonta and Pincer. So now you gave your opponent a free trade with Slug. And I think it's correct to block with Slug here, because if you block with Marrow Ooze, the Pincer just doesn't attack. Yeah. Correct play by Drupty. Now if Pincer attacks, Drupty can definitely clear his hand and then run over the Pincer with Zalt. So Chewbacca doing everything in his power to keep Drupty in the game. Wouldn't have been possible if he chose the right card with volcanic arrows. If you just killed the Slug, now you would still have the Gonta on board and the Pincer. And he can only kill one of those and needs like double blocker or removal plus blocker. Now Drupty still has a very good chance. Yeah, bounce one. Do you have one, like a small blocker? Yeah, he does. Now run over Pincer. Could have as well played this Solgala first to burn mana again. We are like down 2 potential mana burns, but he just doesn't want to give card advantage. But then you bounce Holker, so there's that. Pyro plus again something. Unicorn, Spirogate, small bounce wins it. Just send Pyro is also fine. Then he has to like random discard into it. Chewbacca still looking in a solid position. Yeah, still just Hulk's Pyro is a good play. Forcing Drupty to have another blocker again and hitting the Pyrofighter, or having like double blocker. So okay, 1 drop. Yeah, mass removal already gone from Drupty. 1 Hydro and mana 2 already played. Now the Pyro eats the Solgala. Yeah, basically Drupty needs 2 blockers and to hit the Pyro 50-50 out of hands. Why Magnus doesn't die. Okay, now there's no 50-50 because this, but no blocker, so it's still GG. So yeah, True Barker taking that last game, winning the match 2-1, concluding IDC 60. Let's see if Claude Alpha is ready. Okay. Let's hope the sound works. We go into a call.
Yo.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Let's maybe wait. Can the chat hear you? One moment. Let's check that out.
This is deja vu, but like I said in our last interview, if you can hear me, then the chat can probably hear me as well.
Yeah. And,
it's your own PC sound.
Sefo did say we can hear Claude too, which is good. Then first of all, congratulations on winning IDC 60 and becoming the first 6-time IDC champion.
And without soul swap or fire nature, I might add.
Overlapping Spalding, Xboom, and myself. I have checked the stats in the meantime.
Yeah.
Nice. Also, congrats for securing the spot in CIDC, which you had to win to get in.
Arguably even more important.
With that out of the way, let's jump into the list. I would say, how many cards is this?
It's 40 cards. It's literally the same list that I won with in IDC 51, except for one card difference. I took out the Sol Gala for a second Bilex.
Okay, so 48 cards, right?
Yeah.
So closer to 50, increasing deck size, but adding like Brain Serum for like redundancy when you increase the deck size.
Yeah, I try to play with Aqua Hulkus again, and I keep going back and forth, but Brain Serum just draws you more cards, which is more important for this deck because you wanna see your more important threats like Mistrias, Gigazal, Petrova, Vapor, or your blockers against aggro. And Hulkus, like, you're not really doing anything with the body most of the time. It's just sitting there, so you know.
The water just doesn't add anything. Like, I don't think it's the correct approach, but I think something like the Baraga that we saw with Drapti is like, it at least adds to Hydro Hurricane's effect. Not that it's good, because you don't want to draw from shields against aggro, but...
another option is Crystal Memory for sure, because Crystal Memory it's basically another copy of Mistrias, so like you can find Ice Vapor if you need it in matchup where you need it, or a field boosting creature against fire, mass removal decks, etc.
I mean, would it be that bad to play 1-1 split?
No. I actually recommend people don't just copy this list and in fact put a Crystal Memory instead of the second Brain Serum.
Yeah. I think Marrow Ooze was also in and out quite a lot in your list. How do you like the one of Marrow Ooze?
I've come to really appreciate it because it can basically be like a delayed Ghost Touch with Gigazalt, and with Mistrias, 1-mana creatures are just goated, just 1 mana, just spam the field so quickly and draw your deck out so quickly to the point that you're your opponent gets less turns to top deck an answer to the situation if you play cheaper creatures, basically.
Yeah, also it being an attacker over Laura. Like Laura is better because the light effect of Hydro is better, but
yeah, I would say Marauz is like the highest synergy card in this deck because it's like synergy with Hydro, synergy with Rhea, synergy with Gigazald, and it's a defensive blocker and an attacker. It's the most like versatile card in this deck, you could say.
It doesn't do much, but it does a bit of everything, you know.
Exactly.
I think that's a good sentence about it. Also, I like the double Belix, so just that the opponents don't know. Yeah, one Belix is gone now. I don't have to worry about this or that.
So yeah, like it's really good. It's like basically extra draw power if you had to charge an energy stream or brainstorm, or extra looping with Corp Charger is also really good because you can keep recycling your Ice Vapor against Dekar or Fortress, or getting back the Mystrias more times if you get Slash Chargered or whatever.
Yeah, with Corpse in rotation, it's also like another Mystrias, which is huge.
Exactly. Also, another reason for brainstorm or memory of Hulkus is having double Bilex also gets access to these cards. Whereas if he was Hulkus, he doesn't get access to Hulkus. So that's another small aspect. The other reason I was added second Bilex, because before I kept saying, it's not a good idea because he gets swapped out and you get set back in mana with Soul Swap, but if you play Ghost Touch, that's not really a problem, because you can just they go -1 on card advantage with Soul Swap, and then you can just play off of Ghost Touch, you can play off of Energy Stream, you can play a 3-mana creature, whatever. You can play on that low amount of mana anyway. See that, and they lose out on a Soul Swap, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not always the correct choice to just blindly waste a swap to burn 1 mana. Like, you have to have follow-up as well. So
exactly.
Yeah. I don't think it's a huge issue as well, because if you're afraid of that, just don't charge Belix. Keep it in hand for later. Is also an option.
In the game against Raz, I think it was the first one where we kept going back and forth, having creatures. He was trying to build a board to finish me off. I was trying to build a board to prevent that. I charged all of my Hydros at one point because I had exactly 12 mana to go Rias, Palolysis, Gigaslag, because I knew I had the second Bilex in deck somewhere. Problem is, it was the second card to the bottom, so that's why you saw me. I kind of kept avoiding top decking, drawing too many cards. I said, if it's the very last card, then I might as well just try to beat him without Hydra, because I knew I could beat him even without Hydra. There's no way he has Holy also.
Yeah. That's the thing with Hydro. Sometimes you have to decide when it comes down to... First, you draw with Mystrias like every time, because it's no questions asked. You just take every plus, and then when it comes down to like the last 5 cards in deck, you're like starting to think, now I have to, like, when do I have to attack? Can I hope to get that like last Hydro or whatever I need?
If it's possible to beat the opponent without Hydro, you should try to work towards that. Maybe you do have to do a few pokes with Gigazal to discard a few shields and then go in properly, but if it's not possible without Hydro for whatever reason, then maybe you do have to risk it and hope there is not the very last card or whatever.
I think I only have 2 more card choice questions. One is like, I can basically answer myself, but I still want to hear your opinion. There's no more Fal-Iga in the deck. You think it's probably just too slow, even if you get
it's to another zone. Like I said, you asked me this last time as well, and I will never go back to Fal-Iga ever. It's just too clunky. It's without Soul Swap. In Soul Swap decks, it costs 2 mana. Fal-Iga costs 2 mana. So in this deck, it actually costs a full 5 mana. So it's just not efficient at all. It's just plank. I also tried Photoside as well, but I also found that in this deck without ramp, it's also kind of clunky. Like, at least Ice Vapor, you kind of get that immediate effect. Like, if they do have to play a spell, you get the immediate effect from Ice Vapor, but with Photoside, it's like a bit too niche, only light decks, and it's like if they answer it, like it was just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, it also goes like I think against the identity of the deck, because you want to put the threat on board and hope the opponent runs out of answers at some point, and not play a card that does like nothing to your like, doesn't add to your pressure and just sits there, and opponent can ignore it because they just wait for your Mistrias and Petrovas and Zals. So
yeah, exactly. Also,
really
Mistrias can also get you can get advantage out of Mistrias on the same turn because you play other creatures with it, but Photoside just cannot get immediate value. So
also,
unlike all the others,
you play with Miraculous Snare, you already play a very good amount of removal that Photoside would cover. So if you're fearing like the light mirror matches, you just don't charge the snare and hold it for
especially if you cut a Brainstorm for a Crystal Memory, then you should be just good enough on removal. Period.
I think the last question is like a bit of a double-sided question. One is like about Spiral Gate, because that was in your deck at some point, and with that, like in general, would you like one defensive trigger that's like actually can stop an attack?
Spiral Gate is pretty versatile, but I prefer the water section to be focused towards consistency, towards improving the consistency of the deck, because that's what separates a good Hydra from a mediocre one. It's one that has a higher consistency and one that doesn't. And I already have enough anti-aggro with all these small blockers, all the small discard, all the snares to survive against most aggro decks most of the time. So I don't really need the defensive part of Spiral Gate.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't even put like one of the other water spells out, more like looking at like the second Belix or the third Ghost Touch.
Yeah, I genuinely do not want to go down in light or darkness, because you need darkness to be able to have the mana for darkness, and because you want to play quite a few cards before turn 5. You want to play Ghost Touching, Giga Slug, and then Giga Barza, and then Giga Zal. So you want to have that consistency, and then also on light mana you don't want to go down, because against aggro you want to have light consistency to play a bunch of light blockers, because those are the best against early aggressive decks.
Yeah, I think then like Pit is also out of the way, because it's just too costly.
Too clunky, because you don't play ramp. Unless you build it to have slash chargers, then you could maybe play one or two, because you have slash sometimes, maybe.
I think the last card I would consider is maybe Holy Awe, because it would be in that category of card that can stop attacks from shields, and also fill some of the niche that, like you said, Photoside would maybe fill to clear the opponent's board.
Although I would argue a copy of Marrows does more than a copy of Holio, because it's a 1-mana darkness creature with Mistrias, and it builds towards that mass removal side of Hydro Hurricane. So if anything, if you want a Holio, you put more Marrows, I would argue.
Yeah, okay. I think it makes sense to just not care about the fact that the opponent knows there's nothing stopping attacks out of shields, and just live with the games you lose due to that fact. And just, like you said, focus on consistency. Like
focus on consistency and synergy.
Yeah, winning the games before shields become relevant, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that approach is very good. I don't think, like, I would like to see one just for the mind game, so the opponent just can't like super ignore it, but most likely the opponents would still ignore the 1-off or 2-off trigger anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of like Arc, where it's like, okay, I know you have Arc, but I genuinely don't care. I'm still going to discard it. I'm still going to do all of this stuff, because it's wrong to play into 1-offs just because they might be there. You play to win, you play for consistency.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was enough for the deck. I think you solidified a stock list, just like a few choices here and there, like second Belix or not, brain serums or not. I think those are like the last few
I would recommend people, if they go for this list, to just cut the second serum for a crystal memory. It's just really good at finding you Rias in those games where you just kind of stall and draw just blockers. Because like brain serum can still just draw, I don't know, Giga Slug, Palolysis, and then the next turn you draw, I don't know, Giga Balza, and you still don't have Rias. So yeah, crystal memory can be really, really good.
Why did you play 2 brain serums then? Is this the realization you came to, like this IDC?
Yeah, a bit. Well, I came to during the IDC because I test other lists even if I select a list for this tournament, I still test other lists in the meantime. So yeah, I just noticed that crystal memory just helps you to get Arias quicker on board, because that's the most important part of the deck. You want to get Arias back on the field as quickly as possible, because if you don't, the opponent will just generate advantage way quicker than you. And yeah,
that makes sense. Okay, then do you have any final words you want to share?
I just want to comment on some things that happened during the matches. So against Mr. Bazat, I got those 2 Giga Balzas out of shield.
Yeah, that was
so
crazy.
Then I had like 3 Giga Balzas, and then he broke into Brain Serum, which drew out, I think it was 2 Mistrias, and then on my next turn I top decked the Petrova to be able to boost Chimeras. So then I had to sacrifice the Guardian Petrova so the Giga Balzas could take out the 3-4 bosses. That was pretty
fair. Crystal memory would have done exactly that.
Yeah, exactly that. So Brain Serum, he was lucky for it to actually get me Petrova. Crystal memory would have gotten that for sure. So yeah, although the only upside to Brain Serum over memory, I would say, is it's better into clamp early game and against aggro decks sometimes.
Yeah, just getting the possibility of one more blocker that you can maybe play.
Yeah, he also had Bazagazil at some point. I went for Giga Balza, didn't snipe it. I could have gone for Giga Slug and Snare because I have 6 mana. But yeah, I was thinking about Bazagazil, but thankfully the Giga Balzas made up for.
Yeah, when you hit those Giga Balzas in shield, I was like, at that point I didn't know if you're on Spiregate or not, but my brain immediately popped like the fact that you can target your own Petrova. Like it's just like untargetable for the opponent, but my head was like, okay, you can play Spiregate, bounce the Petrova, so the Guardian buff is gone, and then play Chimera, and then you played the second Petrova, just hard play, and I'm like, oh yeah, true, you can just crash the Guardian Petrova, and it like does the same thing.
Also, one thing I want to point out, in the match against Defindo, you commented why I didn't just go in earlier with Giga Balza, Giga Zalt for the poke play. It was because he was at 7 mana, so I was still kind of hoping Rias comes up so I can go for that game plan. But as soon as he was on 8, no, he was... he was on... As soon as he was on 9 mana, as soon as he was on 8 or 9 mana, I knew that the chances of him having Terror Pit from hand will increase because of Logic Cube.
Yeah.
So at that point, I might as well just go in, because then if it's Terror Pit out of shields, it's okay. But if it's Logic Cube, that won't do anything out of shields, so I can just discard whatever he gets.
I found it very interesting that he charged all his blockers and would have at least like played one of those.
Yeah, I guess
then you can't poke.
I get why he did it, because he wants mana for Logic Cube so that he's on 9 mana. So if he gets Logic Cube, he can play a 6 mana spell. So I totally get why he did that.
Yeah, but also then one last follow-up question there. You attack with Balza and then kept Gigazalt untapped is I think because Burst Shot clears Balza either way, however you attack, and Pit kills Zalt either way if you attack with it, and I think I would have poked with Zald and then...
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter either way, because if I attack with Zal, then it's like...
Same ending spot. I think the only benefit of poking with Zald first is that you could decide to just raw attack with Balazar.
Yeah, although I wasn't at a point where I could just raw attack with Gigabaza after, because he still like three or four shields.
I think it doesn't matter because if it's pit, you lose anyway. If it's burst, it's the same outcome. So yeah, I don't think it matters much. Like, I think just a small benefit that you could raw attack, but yeah.
Yeah, I also want to point out, it's funny that Solomon's prophecy came through that he's out of CIDC, because both me and Bazat got the points.
Yeah, it's especially interesting because Solomon's prophecies tend to not work out, because he says he's going to lose and ends up winning. So
if it's about him, no, but if it's about other people, yes.
Okay. Then, do you still have any more comments?
Yeah, join IDC, guys. Let's get back to 6 rounds.
Yeah, that's a very good
Although that doesn't look too likely, because we only got like 23 or 24 people.
Yeah.
But although that could be because it's summer or something.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say as well. Like, it's already a downward trend from like a year ago, where we had like even like close to 40. Now it's like good when we reach like 30, and now it's even worse because summer hits and not most people, but a lot of people have other things to do. So let's see.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Okay, thanks for joining for this interview. And
no worries.
To watchers, hope you guys enjoyed the stream, enjoyed the tournament, and yeah, see you next time.